Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Get all my buttons pressed here, get everything in sync. Here we go. My name's Dave. Welcome to the MOTU booth here at NAMM 2012. A lot of familiar faces, a lot of friends here. Good to see you. We've got a nice demonstration for you today. We're going to start off by talking about what's happened over the last year for MOTU. 2011 was a strong year for us. We released 5 new audio interfaces and 3 major new software releases. And here's a few of the film scoring credits. As you know, Digital Performer is standard in the industry for both post-production and film scoring. If you've gone to the movies, you've seen Digital Performer. If you've gone to see an act live on stage, maybe you went to the Cirque du Soleil Michael Jackson production. All of these acts are being run by Digital Performer and MOTU hardware. MOTU has been forging development partnerships with other major players in the industry. Specifically, we've been working with Avid to support their media composer. MOTU is one of the few select companies who were chosen by Avid to develop third-party I/O solutions. You can tell I'm getting my wording just right here. We have 3 video interfaces: the HD Express, the HDX SDI, and the V4 HD. And these video interfaces now work with Avid Media Composer on both Macintosh and Windows platforms. That's big news for people doing video work. MOTU is also one of the few companies chosen by Intel and Apple to develop Thunderbolt products. Thunderbolt's an exciting new connectivity standard that is going to transform the way that we capture and monitor audio and video. And MOTU has already announced our first Thunderbolt product, the HDX SDI Video I/O with Thunderbolt technology. So these are some things that have been cooking over the last year, and you're going to be seeing new products as a result of this. A little bit of recognition. It's always nice to be known for what you do. In 2011, Digital Performer won the Electronic Musician Magazine Editor's Choice Award for Best DAW. Thank you, Electronic Musician Magazine. Our Audio Express interface has won the Music Tech Magazine Choice Award. Our 828 Mark III Hybrid has just won the Editor's Choice Award from Electronic Musician Magazine. Here's the award, and it actually says on the award, Most Badass Interface. I think that's kind of cool. You know, the original 828 was the world's first FireWire audio interface for Macintosh and Windows. MOTU continues to be an industry leader. Mach 5 version 3, our universal sampler. Version 3 shipped in 2011. The Air Users Blog, this is one of the leading Pro Tools forums, has given us their Editor's Choice Award. Keyboard Magazine gave us their Key Buy Award. And Mach 5 version 3.02 has just been released. It's a free upgrade. You can download it off of our website, and we've added in advanced audio time stretching technology from EarCam. And if you'd like to take a close look at Mach 5 version 3, we've got it running on both Macintosh and Windows computers at our satellite station. So after the demo, you might want to take a close look at that. We have new audio interface that we're showing off. We're showing off iPad support for our QMix software. QMix is the internal mixer inside our audio interfaces. And of course, the big news is Digital Performer version 8. My main demo is going to be based on the latest update to our flagship audio MIDI sequencing software. Oh, and yes, we have something new to show you today, something you haven't seen before. So a quick note about our latest audio interface. This is a half-rack unit. You're looking at the front and the rear of the unit. This is the 4-pre. 4 high-quality microphone preamplifiers, connection to a Mac or a Windows computer with USB or FireWire, top-quality sound, and this is the latest addition to the MOTU audio interface line, the 4-pre. Check this out. My microphone, I got a wireless microphone here, is going through my audio interface over here. I have an application here, Touch OSC. Let me show you the software. This is QMix, all right? And see the animation there? QMix is the software that controls the mixer that's inside the audio interface. And that's how I have this system patched up here. So I'm running an application called OSC Touch, and I have full control over all of the parameters inside the QMix. Maybe I'd like to dial in a little reverb there. So whether it's EQ, reverb, dynamics control, full mix, I can even have multiple iPads that are controlling the same mix. So if I need to have engineers in different places in the venue, checking and fine-tuning that mix, that's an easy thing to do. So OSC touch control for our QMix interfaces. Of course, the big news here is Digital Performer version 8. Long anticipated. You guys, first day of the NAMM show, you guys are the first people to see this. And the first thing you want to know is 64-bit support. Well, everybody knew this was coming, so it had to happen. 64-bit very simply means that Digital Performer can now access all of the RAM that is installed into your computer. So if you're using sample-based virtual instruments, you are not going to run out of memory. You will be able to access, you put 16 gigabytes into the computer, 16 gigabytes of RAM, DP will be able to access all of that. So, and also, we're also supporting 32-bit. If you're on a legacy system and you want to run in 32-bit, that's your choice. But DP8 is it's a bit of a rewrite. We've done a lot of work in there. We're using all of the latest programming tools. It's got 100% Cocoa. This is programmer speak for, yes, we're compatible with the latest Macintosh operating system and hardware. So let's talk about some of the new features that are in DP8. In DP7, we introduced something called themes. Let's take a look at this. Here it is. This is Digital Performer version 8. And what themes are skins, or a way to change the interface of the program. Digital Performer has always been the most customizable DAW out there, and we've given you 14 new looks there. So let's check out maybe a nice wood grain look, or maybe you're using Digital Performer on stage and you don't want a big bright light coming off of the screen. Here's our hardware look. You see little handles up there, or more of an alien look. So 14 new themes have been added in. Oh yeah, Matt LaPointe's favorite look. This is Arctic. There we go. And we'll go back to our default OS 8. So 14 new themes customizing the skin of DP. And new video engine support. As I mentioned, a lot of people make their living using Digital Performer, scoring sound for picture. So being able to run a movie inside Digital Performer is critically important. We've added in the ability to use any of the MOTU video interfaces with Digital Performer. That seems like a natural thing. I'm going to play a clip for you, and I'd like to thank Elias Arts and Goodby Silverstein and Partners for the video clip that I'm about to play. So let's go open up the movie. The first thing I'll show you before I even start to roll the movie is if I right-click on the movie, I get a contextual menu. This is where I can set the movie's start time. I can change the movie's size. If I want to push the movie out to a FireWire video interface or one of the MOTU video interfaces, all those choices are available right inside there. Now I'm using obviously a single screen mode for the computer, but if you have multiple monitors attached to your computer, you can put the movie onto any monitor that's attached to the computer. Or just roll this a little bit. Now if there's audio embedded into the movie soundtrack, that audio is now being directed into Digital Performer. Sample accurate timing of the audio. So if you want to edit the audio, you can. If you want to extract the audio from the movie, you can do that, but you don't need to, because the audio from the movie is pumped right into DP, the sample accurate timing. Now check this out. I'm going to double click on the movie. And it goes to full screen.
First is first. First moves us forward fast. First takes us places we've never been. We all want first.
All right, double click again. We go back to normal zoom size. So if you have a second monitor connected to your computer, put the movie over there, zoom it up to full screen, and away you go. So some new movie features inside DP8. what else? Something called punch guard. And I'm just going to show you how this works. We've got another sequence set up and ready to go for an example. We'll switch over to that. And we're ready to do a little bit of recording onto this track. I need a musician. Do we have a musician in the house? Hey! Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Dave Wood. He's as good a musician as we can, as you can find. DP just wouldn't be as cool without Dave. Dave helps us out here. All right, so what we're going to do is Dave's got his guitar strapped on, and if you see those little red arrows there, those are punch in and punch out points. I set automated punch points. You ready, Dave? All right, so we're just going to do a little recording here. Now, we punched in and punched out, that's pretty obvious, but I heard you do that little sort of, little intro part there, and it looks like we clipped it off. Not a problem, because with punch guard, what's happening is we're recording both before and after the punch-in point. Right, so did you ever go to record your vocal track and you hit the punch button right after you start singing? Or maybe you're recording a band, and this has happened to me too many times. The band gets to the end of the take and you hit stop. Great, the cymbals are still ringing and you cut them off. You don't have that problem anymore with punch guard. There's that intro. Inside our punch points. Punch guard, new feature inside DP8. What other new features do we have? Plugins, lots of plugins. I've lost count of how many plugins ship with Digital Performer at this point. I think it's in the hundreds, and these are very high quality plugins. 64-bit mastering plugins, convolution reverbs, and in DP8 we have 15 new plugins. Audio engineering plugins, effects plugins. Let's take a look, let's have some fun with this. All right, so I'm going to switch over to my mixing board, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to solo a kick drum. Right, now this is an unprocessed signal. We've got a drum set, we put a microphone in. Actually, we mic the whole kit up, but there's a microphone in front of the kick drum. And we just listen to that. Okay, very exciting, a solo kick drum. Let's see if we can enhance that a little bit. I've got a plugin called Sub-Kick. Now, if you've ever been in the studio when somebody's recording, say, reggae music, you might see them put a small speaker in front of the kick drum, like a 5-inch or an 8-inch speaker, and they use that speaker as a microphone, because the diaphragm of the speaker, being as large as it is, will capture that low-frequency waveform. So that's essentially what we're doing here. We're able to synthesize a subtone based on the kick drum. Now I got a mix control right here. Right now it's set all the way to the left, which means we're hearing only the dry signal. As I increase the mix control, you're going to hear the tone that's introduced by the Sub-Kick plugin. All right, that's 100% of the synthetic sound. Drop the pitch down. You hear that? You feel it? Look at the screen shaking. Resonance control. Drive control. All right, and now we're going to blend the original kick drum in with that subtone. So, Sub-Kick. That's our first new plugin in DP8. Now we're going to bring the rest of the drums into the solo group, and I'm going to play those drums through a subgroup, and this is our dynamic equalizer. This is really two functions in one. It's a multiband equalizer, and it's also a compressor. So each of those EQ bands has its own compressor, multiband compressor. And we'll start off with just playing that drum mix. You can hear the Sub-Kick, it's really coming through. If I go over to the low shelf filter, turn that on. Now a lot of flappy bottom end. But now I bring in the compression. You can see the gain reduction happening up here. So I'm being very precise about how much boost and how much control of the dynamics. Full look-ahead function. Now we'll go to a high shelf filter. Turn that on. Again, I can control how much compression. Now let's go find the snare drum. Solo up just this band. Okay. Figure out how much compression I want on that signal. Bring it back into the full mix. So dynamic equalizer, new plugin in DP8. Now we're going to move on to our synthesizer bass. All right, this is